Hello everyone, it's Alex. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I have a special video for you guys today. This is a collaboration with the beautiful Annette's Makeup Corner. I have spoken about her before in the past. She did a tag video a while back and she tagged me to do it and I ended up doing the tag. And ever since that, I've been hooked on her channel and I have been loving her. She just does colorful makeup. She's into indie brands. She's out there innovative. She does different videos. I really enjoy her content. She's so much fun. I've talked to her behind the scenes, so I've gotten to know her, and she's such a sweet, sweet person. She's really fun to watch. If you guys have no clue who I'm talking about, I will obviously link her channel down below. Her and I decided to do this video today. It is a video that actually LS created with Georgia Harris, and they themselves collaborated on it a while back, sometime last year. And I thought it would be fun to do it with Annette because her and I love indie brands. I love mainstream as well. She likes all types of makeup as well. So it would be fun to see where we would categorize our makeup products. So obviously from the title you can see that we are going to choose whether we would pick an indie brand, a drugstore, or a high-end for these makeup products if we can only buy it from one specific area, or what you're willing to spend on it. So if you're interested to see my answers, just stay tuned. So I'm going to go ahead in order. I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget either, but I'm going to go ahead in order of how I put on my makeup. So the first thing is face primer. Honestly, you guys, I don't even own a full-size face primer. But if I were to choose, I honestly would probably stick with drugstore. I find that I only need a face primer to really do minimal things. It's not something where it's such a big step in my makeup routine that I think I would end up doing drugstore for that. I don't think I do high-end, and I've never tried one from indie brands or heard any indie brands really have one. So I do a drugstore for a face primer. Next up would be foundations. Foundations I'm really torn about because I think I'm going to go with drugstore on this one too, because I know I love some high-end ones, but at the end of the day, I can find a really, really good one at the drugstore and I have to pay an arm and a leg. So I would do drugstore for foundations. They've never done me wrong, at least the ones that I've tried, and I typically can find my shade in the drugstore, so I'm okay with that. For powders, I think I go with drugstore. Drugstore. But yes, I've had indie brand ones. Oh, see, this is so hard. I'm going to stick with drugstore because the ones that I have found at the drugstore, again, have been really, really good, inexpensive, and they worked for what I needed them to work for. Concealers, I am going to go with high-end on this one. And the reason why I'm going to go with high-end, and I'm confident about this, is because it's very hard for me to find a drugstore concealer that lasts more than 5 hours under my under eyes and doesn't crease like crazy or make me look like I am a lot older under my eyes. I have very dry under eyes, and it's very difficult for me to find a drugstore concealer that lasts and doesn't make me look like I have more lines in it what I already have. And I've been finding it very difficult to find with the drugstore. So high-end has my holy grail one, which is the MAC Pro Longwear. So I'm going to stick with high-end for that one. Brows, drugstore. I was blessed with brows, so I don't need much help. So I'm good with the drugstore. Right now I'm using a $2 pencil. It's working perfectly fine. I'm good to go, so I'd go with drugstore. For eye primer, I'd go with drugstore. My favorite one is Milani. That has worked for me for many years. I am confident enough to know that that's going to work for me forever, so I would go with drugstore for eye primer. For blush, oh, I've tried all. I think I'd go high-end for blush. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because there's only a handful, if that, of the drugstore blushes that I really like. And it's all one brand, really. Most of my blushes are high-end, so I'm going to go with high-end. Bronzer, again, high-end. I don't own one drugstore bronzer. They're all high-end, so I'm going to go with high-end. For highlighter, I go indie. Indie brand. Indie brands are the ones that have started all these trends with highlighters. I'm going to stick with for highlighters, I'm going to go with indie brands. They're very innovative, unique. You can find any type of highlighter you want in the indie brand industry. So indie brand definitely for highlighters. Eyeshadow, indie brands. They again have the same type of formula as a high-end would, but at such a cheaper price, and so many fun palettes and collaborations and palette stories. Indie brands, 110% for eyeshadows. I would give up every single palette I have and just stick with indie brands if it came down to it. I'd only buy from the indie brands. They're definitely worth the money. I have yet to find one that I'm not satisfied or happy with. So yes, eyeshadows would be indie brands all the way. For mascara, I go with Drugstore. I don't need an expensive mascara. My eyelashes are long. They have a natural curl, so I'm okay with that. So I'd go with mascaras. The best mascaras I found for me that worked well are Maybelline ones, so I would stick with Maybelline. I'm okay with that. Eyeliner, I go with high-end. I've never tried one from an indie brand. I don't think many indie brands do eyeliners. I think Joseph Colors just came out with eyeliners, but I haven't tried them. And my waterline is very finicky and very troublesome for me. And I've only been able to find high-end ones that have actually worked for my waterline. So I'd go with high-end. Lipsticks. Drugstore. Maybellines are my favorite, and they're $5. And they have every finish, every color. So for lipstick, I'd go with Drugstore. For lip gloss, ooh, I don't have too much lip gloss. What do I have? I'm trying to run through the aisles of Walmart to see what I would pick. What would I pick for lip gloss? You know what? I think I'd go with indie brands for lip gloss because they have those fun. I have a few indie brand lip glosses that I like. Drugstore just are hit or miss for me with the gloss, and I feel like you're spending too much money on high end for gloss where it's not worth it for me. So I'd go with indie because they have those duochrome lip glosses. They come out with really fun formulas, really fun colors. So I think I'd go with indie for lip gloss. Lip liners, I go with the Drugstore. There's no need to spend an arm and a leg for a lip liner. I am that generation of lip liner user. My whole family has always used lip liners. I'm one of those few people in my circle that still likes to use a lip liner, and I don't feel like it's an extra step. It's just something I have to do, and I feel awkward if I don't use a lip liner. So I'd go with Drugstore because I run through lip liners like crazy. Last but not least is setting sprays, and for setting sprays I go high end. The Scandinavia one's my favorite. Urban Decay has a good one. I like Mario Badescu's facial spray. That's a really good one. I have not had much luck with ones at the Drugstore, and I've tried like the L'Oreal one. I've tried a CoverGirl one, the Wet n Wild one. I'm not a fan of the Drugstore ones. I'd go high end for that. So looking at my list, honestly, I have a lot of a mixture between drugstore and high end, and only a few indie brands that I would choose, surprisingly. But eyeshadows is my main spending account, if you want to put it. Like the category that I spent the most on is eyeshadows, and that's indie. I would choose indie all the way for that. All the other stuff I don't really buy and haven't bought. So that's it, you guys. That's my list for drugstore. I'm actually surprised at myself for that because I didn't expect to go this way. I thought about this prior to doing this video, but I didn't really write it down. I wanted to say what came naturally to me. So, and looking at my makeup collection, you know, in my head, I can see that what category I choose to go where. So it's interesting to do this. You know, it makes you think differently about things, because is there really something at the drugstore that I would pick over high end for something on my face? And probably not. There's certain things that I would rather prefer for high end. So Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you did not get a chance to check Annette, please go check out her video and her channel. Subscribe to her, tell her I sent you. You will enjoy her. She is so much fun to watch. She has so many great ideas and fun, colorful tutorials. If you like my fun, colorful tutorials, you'll definitely like hers. Thank you, Annette, for doing this with me. This was a lot of fun and very challenging and made me think a lot about things because I would have never thought that. So I will list and link Annette down below, as well as LS and Georgia Harris and their collaboration down, so you can see where it originated from and show them love as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're coming from Annette's channel, welcome to the family. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you do like what you see, and we love to have you around. I will catch you guys probably tomorrow with another video, and don't forget that a smile is the best makeup a girl can wear. Bye guys.